Hey everyone, so I am going to show you how to make flower number 13. So this is just going to be a basic tutorial. You can fold I'm just going to show you one way to fold the petals, and then I will show you obviously how it looks at the end. You can fold them however you want. So I'll just show you a couple really quick ways. But yes, so to start out with, all you need are your cutout petals, scissors, a curling tool, and a glue gun. Now, I'm only doing a 3-layer petal, or 3-layered flower. You can do 4 if you'd like. You can actually do as many as you want. In my Word document, I will tell you the sizing of the petals you need for the different size flowers. So this one I'm doing about a medium sized flower, and then also I will show you how to decrease the size of your flower by decreasing the size of your petals. So the difference in the first, the second, and the third, and then obviously the fourth. It's about adding about 1 inch to 1.5 inches in petal size, or decreasing. So if you would like a smaller one, you just decrease the petal size, obviously. So it will explain it a little bit more in there, and what size of flower comes out with each dimension. So like I said, I'm doing about a medium sized flower. So let's get started. So I have all the other ones done. I'm just going to show you one of each. So you put a cut about 1 inch to 2 inches right in the center. And when I'm doing multiples, I usually double stack them to make it a lot quicker. Okay. Now I find it easier to curl them when they're flat before they are glued. So this one I am curling one side this way and one side this way. Okay, so you can kind of see how that's going to turn out. You could do them both to the outside. If you would like, you could bend it and make a slight crease and then roll them. It totally is up to you how you would like. Very easy to switch them up. Yeah, it's totally up to you. And the reason I'm showing you these is because I want you guys to get as much out of these templates as you can, and be able to make different kinds of flowers with the same template. So I will just do this one as well. Like I said, you can curl them as much or as little as you want. And you can see in my shop the different curls on other flowers, which you can apply to pretty much all of them if you would like, except for the ones that have the cutouts. I do not recommend curling those because you will more than likely rip them. So you can see those in my shop if you're interested in those. Okay, so we are going to start with the large petals. Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot. Now you are going to glue on the cut, and you're going to just put the smallest amount of glue right on the edge and just overlap it slightly. Okay, and the reason for that is the more you overlap it, the more the petal is going to stand up, which will make your flower higher and not as wide. So if that's the look you're going for, perfect, great. But I want mine to sit out a little bit more. So just barely overlap it, just enough to basically glue them together, and it will just give it a slight curl. Okay. Okay, so now you're going to start with your largest petals. Okay, so I have them all right here already done, and your base. Now I was planning on doing a 4-layered flower, and then I decided to change my mind just because it's just basically adding on another layer, and this explains it just as well. So this is cut for a 4-layered flour. So basically I'm just not going to be starting on the outside. I'm just going to move it in slightly, okay? Doesn't matter as far as the base goes. You will not see this because it will be towards the back. If it bothers you that much, you can easily just cut it down with the scissors when you're done. Okay, so we'll start gluing. You start by only putting glue on half of the first petal, and there is a reason for that. And I will show you when we get to the end. And I like to glue them about halfway between the middle and the edge of the petal, okay? So you just do that. And you just continue to go around like this. Now sometimes when you're doing this, you may screw up and you get the petals a little too close to each other, and then the last petal comes in and it does not look correct. You know, there might be a bigger gap, or it might be too small of a gap and it just looks off. You can easily correct that. Don't think you have to recut all of your big petals. You can just easily pull them up. Just be careful, obviously, but you can just pull them up slightly and adjust the ones you want. Because you don't see this part of the flower. This will be covered up by the other petals. So don't think it's gonna make your entire flower look terrible. It's not. It's a very easy fix. Okay. So now you're down to your last petal. Now you're gonna glue the whole thing down, but you are going to slip it underneath your first petal, okay? And the reason for that is so it looks exactly the same going all the way around. If I were to put this on top like the rest of them, then this petal would be under 2 petals and it would not look the same and it would look kind of goofy. So if you want them to look completely identical going all the way around, just slip it under the first petal. Okay, so you got your first layer, and now I'm going to do the same with the second, but again, only on half of it. And this time you are going to put them in between the big petals. So you want them in between each one. That's how you're gonna lay out your second and your third layer. And now you don't really have to keep track of where you place it. Just try and keep these in line and keep them in between each of the bigger petals. Okay, you're coming on your last, and like these are sitting up a little bit higher. If you don't like that, just put a tiny bit of glue and just press it down and it'll lay them down better. So you could do it to the same, this one as well, if you just don't like how they're sitting up. Okay, so the last one, again, you're gonna place it underneath the first petal, just like that, okay? And just glue on that last one. And there you go. Now you have your second layer. Now you're gonna do the exact same thing with your last layer. Okay, so you saw that this one kind of overlapped over that first one. So just make sure you're gonna have to try and fit that last one under there. So I'm actually gonna pull this up as well, just to make it a lot easier to fit that last petal, because the closer you get, it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. So it does get a little harder to get the petals in there. So I'm just gonna fit it down in there. Okay, and now you can see I have an itty bitty little glue. That's gonna get covered up by my center. It's not a big deal. And there you go. You have a completed flower. Now all you have to do is put the center in. I will show you a couple of the templates I have in my shop. Let's see. So these ones are the ones available in my shop. Okay. And I have these cut out in gold and white right now. I usually like to double them up on the flower just to give it a little bit more of a pop. So I think I'm going to do I'll do a gold and a white and just double layer it. So just put a little bit of glue. Lay it down in there. The white one. And I like to stagger them a little bit so you can see them both. And there you have your finished flower.